Ahoy friends, welcome to building the Alpha Dory. I'm Dan and this is a project to build a Chamberlain style racing dory from John Gardner's The Dory book, illustrations by Sam Manning. Today we'll be out in the shop, just a short video fastening the seats to the risers. Alright, like I say, it's going to be a quick one, so let's just get out there and get to it. Okay, so like I was saying, just a super quickie mini video today. All we're doing is fastening the seats to the risers, and then we'll probably go ahead and fasten the trim to the centerboard trunk as well, just to get that out of our way for sort of speed the project along. But yeah, as you can tell, it's a super simple sort of process. I'm just gonna throw a little glue on here. Of course, way back when, these wouldn't have been glued. They just would have been nailed with some likely some Galvy nails. So we're kind of overdoing it, but this is one of the sort of vital structural parts of the boat, so to some degree it's kind of tough to overdo it. These seats are an integral part of the structure of the sailing dory. There's, especially when these boats were being raced, there's a fair amount of torque on the hull going to windward between the centerboard trunk and the mast. And originally these boats were unstayed. They had a mast that was just set through the front seat here. And I can imagine on an unstayed mast there would be quite a bit of torsion through the hull. The stays help with that a lot. Wire rigging. So yeah, so that's not as big a deal on this boat. Plus, I've got the capability to use composites and whatnot, or not epoxy, but at least this Type Bond 3, which is really next thing to it. I think it's considerably more environmentally friendly as well. Definitely a lot nicer to use, without the chemical. And I've used epoxy a fair amount. I'm not sensitized to it or anything, but I just figure the less I can use it, the better. So let's do these first couple seats, and then we'll move to the stern seat. Yeah, so like I was saying, these seats are a vital part of the structure of the boat. Bracing the centerboard trunk side to side and transferring torsional loads to across the hull. And they're also an important part of the sailing setup and rowing setup, of course. But they, when you're sailing, you'll put one leg on either side of the seat, so you're basically facing crosswise in the boat. And then you can adjust your weight to windward or to leeward, basically to affect the trim on the boat, adjust the amount of heel. And yeah, it's a real that seat's trying to get in there backwards. There we go. Good. Yeah, so you can adjust your weight side to side and really get the trim just so that you can affect the helm by the amount of heel you put into the boat, and you can also you'll also affect the sail shape. And you'll also be affecting the way the boat goes to windward, or if you're going off the wind, Alright, so next thing I'll do is drill the holes. We're going to put 4 nails in each end of the seat, and that'll secure it to the risers. Yeah, so I'm just putting the ring nails in as far towards the center line of the boat as I can, but not have them come out into the air when I'm nailing down into the seat riser. So, the seat riser is sloped in, there's a flat spot that the seat is sitting on, and I'm going into that flat spot, but I'm going in as far as I can, so I'm getting into the meat of the seat riser rather than going in on the outside edge and just catching the corner of it. So that's tacking the seat riser down good and tight. The nails aren't coming out on the back side, so that's good. If there's any play in the seat that I'm putting in, I'll make sure that it's more or less equidistant to either side. Before I drill the hole. But yeah, so this bow seat, number one frame, will have the yeah, that's good. Nothing's sticking through. We'll have the sail controls added as well, the halyard and for the jib and the main, and those will be led down to the front edge of the seat, and they'll go under the seat, and then we'll have a couple belaying pins, little belaying pins in the back edge of the seat here. So it just puts a smallish sized hole through the seat, you know, nothing compared to the mast hole that was in the original, so it's not like you're weakening the seat a lot or anything. And those pins are just really handy for coiling the line for the uphauls and keeping stuff neat. And the fact that the sail is that the uphauls are belayed to the seat as opposed to the mast means that the mast is actually held down in the step by the fact that the sails are up. So you can't go over a crazy big wave and toss the mast out of the step or anything, because it's held down by the uphauls. At least while you got the sails up, you know. So and then when you're at anchor up some little backwater creek, or if you're anchored out behind, say Cranes Beach or Steep Hill Beach, or up in the Essex River or whatever, and yeah, maybe you got the tent up, spending the night up there. Yeah, it's a beautiful place to wake up with the seabirds calling and the sound of the surf and all. Just surreal. But yeah, when you're up there, you can leave the mast up with the leave the stays in, and just set up a tent across the boom. The next thing we got to put together for this boat is the well, I'm not sure which I'll do first. It's either going to be the floorboards, or the cuddy. We're going to be making a little stern seat to put in this boat, which is called the cuddy. And it's a place to sit if you're steering while folks are rowing, you know, if you're helming the boat. Now I suppose you could sit at the on the transom seat as well, but it just gets your weight that much further aft, so that you'll be able to counterbalance the weight of the oarsman, who would be in like likely this seat, the center box seat, and then either they'd be sitting on the sailing seat, or if there's 3 oarsmen, there'll be one up in the bow. So if you've got 3 folks rowing, then you'd be a little bit bow down. But if you have a person steering who's sitting right back at the transom, then you should trim out pretty good. Looks like I'm 1 nail short. So I'll have to go grab a few more nails. I can do that on the way by though. Yeah, so the hope is if we get decent weather this next Thursday, we'll haul her out of the shop, flip her upside down outside, and fiberglass the bottom. We'll first trim the garboard. First we'll trim the garboard to then trim the centerboard trunk opening, and then fiberglass the bottom. I'm going to fiberglass the bottom of this boat like I did with the Centennial. I'm going to use fiberglass and the Type Bond 3 wood glue. So that should be an interesting episode. That's one of the more modern aspects of sort of hybrid construction that we're doing. Is that fiberglass layer, which is nice. It certainly helps with the swelling and shrinking and whatnot. So it keeps the boat from leaking when you first put it in, and then it keeps it from moving a lot once it's in. So it just sort of lengthens the amount of time that the bottom is nice and watertight. Like, Centennial is, let's see, 2016. So it's 4, 5, 6 years old now, and it doesn't leak when you take it in and out. So you kind of you're able to avoid probably the weak spot in dory construction is the garboard to bottom connection, as far as you get a bit of seeping when you, and that and the bottom boards, they tend to leak a bit till they swell up. So with that fiberglass layer, you're able to avoid a lot of that. cleaning up some of the glue here, glue squeeze out. What else? Yeah, we're looking good. So we got the boards glued down, the seats glued down. We got some of the trim glued in place, which is nice. And then I'll be able to sand this and sand this flush, and then put the next trim piece on, and the end trim piece, yeah, next time. On right now too. Glue this one up and slap it on there. As long as I can, as long as I got a way to clamp it in place. Yeah, well, why don't I do that? And then I guess we'll be pretty much done out here for the evening. Like I say, shorter video, so. But yeah, coming along. And like I say, so another. I got this weekend to finish up whatever I'm going to get done. Hopefully I'll get the cuddy built this weekend. And then we'll have her out, flip her over. And I've got some plastic so that if it, I'll cover the boat with plastic every evening. Because you don't want dew getting on it. And that'll also help if it rains. And then once the bottom's done and dry, I'll flip it back over, bring it back in the shop, and we'll get into paint. So yeah, I'll try not to video all the different coats of paint we got to put on this thing, but as you can imagine, there's quite a bit of cutting in to be done. We're not going to use any masking tape on this build, so it'll all be cutting in by hand. Yeah, just do it the old-fashioned way. We'll paint our boat the old-fashioned way. We'll earn it. Anyhow, yeah, I guess that's it for this evening. Thanks for dropping by Building the Alpha Dory. A massive thank you to everyone who's liked, subscribed, and supported the channel. And yeah, look forward to seeing you guys next video and in the comments section. Have a great day. And see you out on the water.